Okay, I'm tired. I have a migraine. So if I say anything that sounds Donald Trumpish, meaning I fuck up a word, forgive me already. Anyway, so today I'm making Fatboy Brownies. Um, so yeah, what's a Fatboy Brownie? Basically, it's a cookie on the bottom and a brownie on the top. That's the basics of it. So, we're not going to use any alcohol to do this today. So, I'm using a store bought cookie mix. And whichever one you want. Um, to it, I've added um, a little bit more butter, a tablespoon more butter than the store mix calls for. It called for a stick. I added an additional tablespoon. I'm also going to add some of this, about a teaspoon. We're going to mix it up. And then I'm going to spray these two with this. This is excellent stuff. You got to get it. And then I will press this into these. You could do this in a 9 by 9 or a 9 by 13. But since I'm going to be leaving one home and then the other one taking to select people, I'm doing two. So I will get this all mixed up and then go to the next step. All right, so everybody's all mixed up. Pans are already sprayed. And you can see that I've already divided this up. If I really wanted to be cute and professional, those were air quotes, I would have weighed it to make sure each amount was exactly half. I ain't going through all that. So now, excuse me, I'm moving stuff out of my way. So now, what we're going to do is I'm just going to I'll start with this one. Excuse me, I'm trying to do this with one hand. So we're just going to take this and we're going to press it into the bottom of this pan and make sure we have a nice even layer. Excuse my camera work today. I have a migraine and it's kicking my ass and I haven't taken anything for it yet. So yeah, we'll get this all in here, and pressing it down is really basically just that. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. As Martha would say, Martha Stewart, make sure your hands are impeccably clean. Or was that Julia Child? Anyway, whichever. So all you're going to do is just press it in like this. I'm going to use the spatula in a moment to do the fine detail work, basically. Something else. You don't want your butter completely melted when you're mixing it with the mix. The mix may tell you to melt it completely. I beg to differ. You want your butter to be cold, and you want really kind of chunky. So anyway, I'm going to finish doing that and then move on to the next step. All right. So one of them I've already done the next step. The other one I haven't, but I wanted you to see this first. Everything is all pushed into the corners evenly. That's kind of important. Although I just saw something I don't like. Oopsie, I missed a spot. Okay. Um, so anyway, on this one, which I'm going to do to this one, I've just spread some caramel in there, and I want it concentrated more in the middle. I really don't want that much, if any, around the edges. As you can see, it's barely any or none around the edges. I'll do the same thing to the other one, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right. So we're using a boxed fudge brownie mix, but I just couldn't leave it the way it is because I'm me. So to this, I've also added some rum extract. I've also added some dark chocolate chunks and some semi-sweet chocolate chips to this. I've also added an additional pinch of salt. I think it comes out better. And for one of these two pans, I'm going to actually also add coconut to it. So one will be with coconut, one will be without. So I will get this into those pans and then add the coconut, well, to one of them rather, and then add the coconut. So I don't use a spatula when I'm making brownie mix. Brownie batter. I prefer to use this. Wait a minute. What did I just say? I don't use a whisk. When I'm making brownie batter, I prefer to use a spatula because making brownie batter with a whisk, depending on the whisk, it's going to be a pain in the ass. You're going to have to keep stopping and getting the batter out of the center of the whisk, and I find it just easier to use a spatula. So it's all mixed up, and even using the spatula, you don't see any powder or flour or anything like that hanging out by itself. So we're going to get this into those, and then I'm going to bake them. I think I'm going to do like 45 to 55 minutes, and that'll be on 325. 350. I'm going to do it at, and then we will be back. I'll let you see what it looks like. Okay. Here we go. Notice that's the leftover cookie bits, so I know which one of these is staying here. Plus, the one staying here has more of that on the top. This one has it just underneath because I've sprinkled some and then put the last on there and spread it out. And now it's going to be baked. All right. Well, I already scored it and started taking them out. That looks burnt, but it's not. And I picked this kind of pan to bake it in because guess what? It's already giving me score marks where to cut it. Anyway, these came out very well. They're nice and fudgy, soft. And the coconut is nicely toasted on top of this one. And this is the one that's staying home for my brother. So, there you have it. You should do it. They came out very well. Actually, hold on. Let me show you. One. This is the bottom of one of them. Actually, hold on, so you can see something. So, this was one of the corner pieces, actually. So you see how. There we go. You can see, and you can see right here, right there. That's where that caramel was on top of the cookie. So, make it, enjoy it, share it. You want to do it for Christmas? Cut up candy cane and mix it with your brownie batter. Have a blast with that one.